Hi, this is Fidemaster Viktor Neustroyev. Every chess player likes to attack. Yes, it's always exciting to attack rather than defend your position. When you are into the attack, you can look for beautiful combinations and mating nets for the enemy king. If you make a mistake there, you are likely to lose the game. In such a case, your opponent gets out of the pressure and the game continues with equal chances. However, if a defensive side makes a mistake, they may lose the game. Moreover, it's much easier to make a decisive mistake when you are under pressure and have to play almost the only moves to parry a threat. Moreover, it happens quite often in a chess game when you have to defend your position against the enemy attack. How do you defend properly? Well, of course, a lot depends on the concrete position. However, in this video, I'm going to share 3 basic strategies which will definitely help you to succeed with your defense and overtake the initiative in the game. Okay, this is Fidemaster Viktor Neustroyev and how to defend in a chess game and avoid getting a checkmate. There are 3 typical plans you can apply in a chess game to defend your king successfully, and each plan I'm going to demonstrate by the example of Grandmasters games. Plan number 1 is counterattack. When you are under the attack on the king side, you can use the other flank or the center in order to create a counterattack. Your main task is to distract enemy attacking pieces and force your opponent to defend on the other part of the board. In such a case, their attack will fail. Please look at the diagram. Here white is about to play g4, g5 and then expose our king. But black may find a way how to focus on the queen side and make it a place of action. They continue with rook fc8 with the idea of playing c3, g4, c3. If b takes c3, rook takes c3, and later black can either capture the pawn on a3 or take the advantage of this pin. That's why in the game it was b3. However, c2, and white has to keep an eye on this pawn. g5, knight retreats to e8, bishop to d2, queen e7, attacking on a3 and preventing f6, b4. And then, again, black plays on the queen side and undermines this pawn on b4. b takes a5, b4 is one of the options. The other one, which was played in the game, is rook a5, attacking on a3. Here, white has to accept this sacrifice, which is actually not a sacrifice because in the next few moves, black gains the material back. They play c1. Now the bishop is distracted and it's no longer protecting on g5. That's why. c1, rook a c1, rook takes rook, and after rook takes rook, queen takes g5 is possible. For example, white blocks, queen takes c1, and now you see there is no king side attack anymore. Moreover, black already overtook the initiative, and during the next few moves they made an absolutely winning position. You can, for example, see it. After queen b3 it was bishop c5 and the queen wanted to go to g1, so the knight is tied down and they finally lost the pawn and lost the game. Plan number 2. Attack stopping exchanges. To be able to checkmate your king, your opponent has to move a lot of his pieces to the side where your king is located, but if you exchange these attacking pieces, the attack will fail. Let me show you how it works in real games. For example, in this position it's black to move, white is about to create a strong attack on the king side, maybe they will continue with g4 or bring the queen somehow to the g file to attack g7. So black is under the pressure, but to be able to exchange and equalize the position, they can just play d5 and exchange everything. So here white has to capture, otherwise black captures only 4 and gains the material. E takes d5, knight d5, bishop d5, rook, because we want to exchange more pieces. Queen g4 was played in the game, threatening the mate, and this is where, again, we don't want to just passively defend the position, the g7 pawn, but exchange more pieces. With this move, we protect the g7 with the queen and also offer another exchange. Rook e d1 was played in the game. Bishop takes f2, king takes f2, then we exchange both rook pairs, and finally white realizes that they have only 2 pieces into the attack and black needs 1 to defend, while the bishop is flexible and can do anything it wants. So with these exchangers, we were able to parry the white's attack. Plan number 3, a breakthrough in the center. In my opinion, this is maybe the best strategy. When the center is open, it's easier to activate your pieces, enter the enemy camp, create a counter attack, or even to exchange enemy attacking pieces. However, sometimes your opponent can close the center. Let me show how to deal with it. In this position, knight g3 was the last move, and white is definitely threatening with g5 with the idea to expose our king. But black may open the position in the center, d5. And if e takes d5, we exchange a lot of pieces. If g5, for example, we can get a counterplay after rook fd8 with the idea of knight c3. No, for example, if g captures h6, it's bishop f6 first, and then knight c3. Okay. However, in the game, white decided to keep the position closed and play this move, e5, but then knight goes to e4. It doesn't really matter that here we have to double the pawns. The main idea is that now we open the center. What this open center allows us to do? So first of all, we can exchange with rook fd8, and they have just a few pieces to continue the attack. In the game, it was queen e3, rook fd8, rook takes rook. So we exchange a rook pair, and white continues with g5. However, this time black may initiate a counter attack. Queen c7, g takes h6, but we don't care, we have queen a5, threatening to take on a2 with a mate and a few moves. So a3, and now we use this center to create a counter attack. We play queen d5, threatening with queen d1 mate and queen a2 entering their camp. King b1 doesn't work here. After king b1, we just continue with queen d1 check. And, well, take on c2, they are in trouble. We can also play bishop d5 here. That's why in the game it was bishop b4. But after this move, queen a2 threatening with a mate, and soon the game was over. Threatening with a mate on c2, so queen a4, but after rook d2, that's it. Queen went to b2, but here white lost the game after queen b1 mate. So if you open the center, you can combine all 3 plans and get either a counter attack or just exchange enemy pieces. In this video, you learned how to defend your position successfully and avoid getting a checkmate. Of course, you should understand that these strategies work quite often, but not every time. Sometimes you have to create something special to stop the enemy attack. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to like it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and share it with your friends, chess players, so they can learn these strategies as well. However, I want you to remember that it's always better to force your opponent to defend rather than stay under the attack. Being under the pressure often provokes a mistake. That's why I advise you to play aggressively. And if you want to learn more about how to take the initiative and force your opponent to defend, starting from the first moves, watch the video Top 7 Aggressive Chess Openings Tutorial, FIDE Master Explains, on the screen next. And I'll see you there in a moment.